Alright, this video is going to be about replacing your TPS sensor, your throttle position sensor. It's mounted on your throttle body usually at the bottom. In our case, it's right here. That's what we got to get to. When your TPS sensor goes bad, the vehicle doesn't have a consistent idle, and a lot of times it has a high idle, and it won't always come back to the designated spot of RPM where it idles. Like in this truck, it is supposed to idle at around 700 to 600 RPM, but in my case, it does that every once in a while, but mostly it goes up to 1000 RPM. So I've already cleaned the throttle body and replaced the idle air control valve right here. So the first step you got to do is you got to get to your throttle body by however means possible. So in this case, it's just taking off the splash cover. Be back in a second. Alright, now we have the splash cover off. We have to start by removing the throttle body, which is this piece here. It's mounted on the front of your intake manifold. So that's just removing these hoses, coolant line, accelerator cable, and there's 4 bolts in each of the corners. You can't see the other 2, but they mount. So let me get back to work, and I'll get back to you in a second once these tubes are all disconnected and I can unbolt the throttle body. When you remove your accelerator cable, which is this, if you have an accelerator cable, newer vehicles don't. I didn't always know how to do this. What you do is you take a flathead screwdriver, like so, and you just pop it. You just go under it, pop it off, and there you go, now it's off. It has like a little nipple and a opening that it sits on, so you just gotta pop it off. So just be very careful with your throttle cable. Before I remove these coolant lines, there's one down here, or one up here and one down there. Make sure you have a paper towel handy, because a little bit of coolant's going to spill out. You should always do this when the vehicle has been sitting for a while. In this case, we've had the truck sitting for a few hours, so the coolant system is obviously not under pressure. So, okay, so let me get these hoses out, and I'll unbolt the throttle body, and I'll get back to you in a second. Alright, so now you have your coolant hoses undone. There was 2. This one didn't spill, but this one spilled a lot of coolant. A lot of times your upper radiator hose, if it's close by, it's on the same vacuum pressure. So as you can see, I can get the fuel, when I squeeze on the hose to come up. So just be careful, don't lean on the hose. So next you want to get, there's 4 screws. There's one there, there's one kind of down there, you can't see it. One up there and one down there. You want to remove those, and you also want to unplug your idle air control valve in the back here on either side. On one side that they usually have a plug, and just set the plug off to the side. And you also, there's a vacuum hose fitting right there. Alright, this is for the evaporative system, and I just unplug that. Nothing will spill out because it's just air going in there. That's why you don't have a hose clamp on it. Alright, this is your TPS sensor. Okay, connects at the bottom of the throttle body, which I don't know why. Oh God, this is pissing me off. But okay, so it's held on by 2 screws here, Phillips heads. So I'm gonna remove those, and I have the other TPS sensor right here. And this is a used one. I actually got this for free because I ordered a throttle body, and the junkyard sent me a throttle body, an idle air control valve, and a TPS sensor. Exactly everything I need to complete this entire job. So I got a free TPS sensor. So right on. Okay, so as you can see, it looks pretty much the same. So you just want to make sure your plugs look pretty kind of similar. Yep, everything looks alright. So now I'm going to swap these, and I'm going to get this one back on, and I'll be back to you. Alright, the TPS sensor's on there. It's right here plugged in. So I'm just going to re-plug it in to where it goes, right here. And there we go. So I'm just going to attach the throttle body, coolant hoses, and air duct, and vacuum hoses, and you'll be set. Bye-bye.